Welcome back to the Artfelt Brush. I'm Sarah, your host, and I'm so glad you're joining me today. Fall is in full swing here. Most of our trees have lost their leaves. It always makes me a little sad when the autumn colors start to fade. Fortunately, there are a number of community-driven events this time of year, Halloween being one of them, with all of its exciting chaos. My husband and I took our son to see the drive-through spooky lights, and yes, we went in my convertible with the top down. It was such a fun and slightly chilly adventure. You know, a lot of times we don't think of lights as art, but they absolutely can be. Years ago, my husband and I traveled to Scotland to see a light festival, and it was incredible. I captured some spectacular photos that I'll have to share sometime. I really do love that art and creativity can be found in so many aspects of life, especially in unexpected places. On the topic of creativity and unexpected places, my son joined a singing group this fall, and yes, a room full of little voices is as adorable as it sounds. While waiting outside his practice last week, I was chatting with another mom who, as it turns out, is an opera singer. We got to talking about her craft, freelancing, and eventually the arts in general. The topic of talent versus hard work came up. We both agreed that while some people may have natural gifts that give them a head start, it's really the hard work and dedication to the craft that makes the lasting difference. The conversation got me thinking about this podcast. I realized I may have jumped ahead a bit in the last episode. Before diving deeper into the emotional side of creating, I think it's worth taking a step back to talk more about the act of creating itself, and even before that, the concept of good. Art is nothing if not humbling. And when you first start putting pencil to paper or paint to canvas, should the expectation of creating something good be the first priority? I'm not so sure it should be. Of course, we want our finished work to be pleasing to the eye. But when you are learning, taking the pressure of perfect off yourself gives you more freedom to explore, make mistakes, and grow. In college, I had a professor that had us draw a bagel. Yes, a bagel, at various stages of being eaten 100 times. She told us to only expect one of those drawings to be good. That meant 99 times we'd get it wrong. And in each of those 99 attempts, we'd learn something. How to shade an area better, draw a semicircle more fluidly, or how to push through the doldrums of the middle of a project. You can try something similar at home. Pick a shape or line type and draw it 50 times, expecting that only one of those times will turn out right. This exercise takes off the pressure of being good while helping you develop muscle memory, patience, and the tenacity needed to continue creating. And let's be honest, creating doesn't come without failure. Having the drive to work through the hard part, the learning curves, and the inevitable mistakes can be incredibly healing in itself. Creating is a lot like life. There are ups and downs, twists and turns, and unexpected delays. When you let go of the need to control every detail, both in art and life, the bumps along the way become easier to manage. That said, I'm going to completely contradict myself here, because once you have developed the skills and techniques, then control can re-enter the scene. That's when you get to be the master of your artwork. You can decide where the mountains go, where the sunlight and shadows fall, and how each element fits together to create the whole. That's when creating steps away from just making something and becomes true art. In my younger days, when I was creating surrealist scenes, I really loved to control every element that went into one of my paintings, whether it was a clock from my childhood home or a swing set from my younger years. It was intentionally added and placed with careful consideration. Actually, that ties beautifully into what we talked about last episode. In college, I painted the view from one of my childhood windows. Each component that I added was meaningful and placed for a specific reason. However, I changed the placement of almost every element from where it truly existed. Lilac bushes grew in the front of our rental, but I moved them to the outside of my second-story window. The giant mountains that loomed over our valley, I moved from west to south. Then I put the yard with the swing set my dad installed in the middle ground. The last element I added was cracks slowly forming on the window panes. Painting the entire scene was extremely therapeutic for me. My dad passed away when I was 6 years old, and I've always felt a large part of my childhood ended with his passing. As I painted, I let myself feel everything: the anger at him for leaving me, the disappointment over what life might have been, the heartbreak of every donuts with dad and missed milestones, and all the other big feelings that come with working through grief. When I brought the painting to class for critique, something shifted. It was very healing talking about it out loud. I did not have to hide my grief or brush it aside. I was allowed to miss my dad and channel those feelings into my art. The result was not only a more meaningful piece, but also a profound personal release. That's the end goal: to have the technique, concept, and emotion come together into something healing. But to get there, you have to first put in the work: the tedious sketches, the beginner's exercises, the willingness to make mistakes and learn from them, and most importantly, the time. So, wherever you're at in your creative journey, give yourself the space and time to practice, to fail, and to grow. The masterpiece will come, but only if you keep creating. And if you decide to keep creating, I'd love to see your work. Feel free to tag the Artfelt Brush or use the Artfelt Brush hashtag. You can also see more clips from me on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, plus my blog on theartfeltbrush.com. Until next time, may you find inspiration for within, one brushstroke at a time.